Hey, what's up guys, it's Brownwoods and we are back at it with another classic banger video. I'm playing none other than my dragon deck. And what better way to, kick this match off by telling you guys I'm gonna be playing against another red deck. So this is gonna be the battle of the red decks. This was over at my local shop, Card Game Coliseum. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into this battle right here. So if you guys don't know what Dragon does, we're gonna get right into it. Dragon has an ability that says activate main, give up to 2 currently given Dawn to one of your characters. So we're gonna be switching our Dawn back and forth. We're gonna be, creating a bunch of pressure. And our opponent plays the Nami here, and he's gonna go ahead and grab that and pass over to us. And so we are at 2 Dawn. We have a lot of plays that we can do on 2 Dawn. So we're gonna see what we end up going for. Just play the Dawn here, which is gonna give us a top 5 search for a 1-cost red character, and we whiff. Pretty unlucky for us. I usually don't whiff on the Dawn, but hey, it happens sometimes. I can see in my hand that I already have a 1-cost, so sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. So we have our opponent playing the Chopper right here. Chopper is going to go ahead and let him search the top 5, grab 1 animal, and play it rested on the field. Very strong and very efficient to start filling out his board. So right here he swings 5, and I just take it because it's all right. I'm at 5 life. I usually take my first 2 hits pretty generously. So moving on, big 4 Dawn play, right? Again, I have a lot of plays that I can do on 4 Dawn. That's the way I built this Dragon deck. I built this deck to be able to just flood board as much as I can. I tap 2 for Brooks to give 2 down to Dragon, and I swing 7. 7 to life, my opponent takes. And then I use my Dragon Leader effect to give 2 attached down to the Dawn and swing 5 to the Bear. And my opponent gives me 2 cards out of hand to protect his Bear. And then I tap another 2 for another Dawn to search top 5 again. No way I whiff 2 times, right? Nope, I don't think so. And I grab the Robin and I add it to hand. So right here, just like my opponent, now I have established my bird as well. I have 3 characters that all are 3K. All can be buffed by my leader ability to swing 5K for free. So if I give 2 Dawn to one of my characters, swing 5, use leader effect, move that 2 Dawn to another one, swing 5 again, it's just the most efficient use of my Dawn possible. So my opponent right here attaches 1 down to Zoro, buffs his whole front line by 1K each. So this is really the battle of the reds right here. We both kind of have a similar play style, as you can already kind of see. So we're both. Wait, so right here, real quick, Nami is swinging 2 + 1 + 1, swinging 4 into the Dawn. So I just give it because I'm not going to give it 2K just to save the Dawn. That's completely fine. One trick that you guys need to really master is to know when to give up your board and when to protect your board. This was a prime example. Like, I'm not going to give a 2K to get rid of this, to protect this Dawn. I'd rather save my 2Ks for a much later and more important stage of the game. So my opponent right here swings 7K, I believe. No, 6K, and I take that. Typically when I'm at 3 life, I like to just chill right there. Yeah, anything like my first 2 life hits, I'm taking those pretty generously. So my opponent plays another hiking bear, and then he attaches the rest of his Dawn to his leader, and I believe it's swinging 8 to lead, and I take, and my opponent passes. So why did I do this? I take it because, yes, I don't want to give up a whole bunch of cards out of my hand to counter that hit. And I already know that I'm going to be using a lot of my characters. Pretty much at the end of this turn, I'm going to have a lot of rested characters on my field. So it doesn't matter that I have 2 life. My opponent is going to be forced to swing into my characters, or he's going to be in a very tough spot, as you're going to see it. You're going to see it unfold right here. So right here, I have like, okay, am I swinging into board or am I swinging into life? I chose here to start swinging into board, to start getting rid of some of the cards in hand. My opponent taps 1 to use his searcher counter, and let's see what he ends up going for. And he plays the Chopper off the searcher counter, which is gonna let him, play. Oh no, he actually ended up giving me the Chopper that I swung 5 into. And then I tap 2 for another Brook to give 2 Dawn to the other Brook that's already there, and I swing 5 to the Hiking Bear. Okay, which leaves me 4 Dawn left. I use my Dragging Leader ability to put the 2 Dawn from Brook to the Dawn to swing 5 into Nami. And he's gonna, I think he's deciding I want to counter. Nope, he just gives it to me, which leaves me 4 Dawn up. Let's see what I end up going for here. I tap 2 Dawn for a Koala to reduce Hiking Bear by 3k to put him at 1k. And then I tap 1 for a Nico Robin to KO Hiking Bear. So very, very, very efficient turn right here. I completely, wiped my opponent's board because I didn't want him to start amassing it because I know how Zoros can get. And I was already at 2 lives, so I was like, dude, if I don't get rid of this board, he's just gonna swing into my life and then that's just gonna be game. So I definitely flipped the tables on him right here, establishing 5 characters of my own. So now my opponent is faced with the similar dilemma where he is kind of in a state where he has to decide if he should just keep going for my life or should he start attacking into some of these characters that are on my field. So he opts to swing 5 into the Dawn to activate Chopper's when attacking ability. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, grab 1 animal, and play it rested onto the field. And I choose to give it to Dawn. My opponent ends up playing the Hiking Bear off of that. So still full of, what is that, 7 Dawn. He still has all his Dawn up. He's gonna swing 5, I believe, into Brook. Yeah, he swings 5 into Brook, and I give it, right? I'm not really overprotecting these characters. The only time I protect the characters on my board is when I know that I'm going for game next turn. So if you can look at my opponent's life, he still has 4 life left. So I'm not thinking of ending the game next turn. So that's why I'm giving up these cards. My opponent plays the Dr. Cureja, which is going to let him search for a Drum Kingdom or I believe or a Chopper, and he grabs the 1-cost event, the counter searcher event, the one that he just used on me. So my opponent taps another 1 Dawn to play another Dr. Cureja, which is going to do the same thing. He's going to start looking for, I think he's looking for those choppers. He already used 2 of them, right? We've already seen 2 choppers. So typically, that is the most important card in this leader's deck. And the fact that we've already seen 2 of them, it's just information. Now we know that there's only 2 left. And we're in a pretty good spot right here. So my opponent taps 3 to play a Zoro, and he gives 1 Dawn to his Zoro to buff the other Zoro by 1. And he's gonna swing 6k to my lead, and I'm gonna give it 2k. Okay. I don't think my opponent has any other play left because he only has 1 Dawn left and he passes to us. So we know that he has that counter search event that he can use at any moment as soon as we attack. So definitely got to keep that in mind. So we are at a big 8 Dawn play right here. Let's see how we end up navigating through this one. So we have 3 characters on board. All are low cost, right? 3k, 3k, 2k. So this is just showing you how this dragon deck works. It focuses on maximizing your characters. So right here, I'm going to swing 3 into Hiking Bear, and he's going to use the counter search event. That's completely fine. We knew that he had it, but let's see what he ends up playing off of it. So he actually ends up trashing the Hiking Bear that I'm attacking into to play the 2020 Chopper. Okay, so I swing 5 into the Searcher Chopper because I see my opponent has 2 cards in hand, or it looks like he has 2, but he has very few cards in hand, right? I've been attacking his board for the last turn, I think the last 2 turns. So I'm just trying to figure out what he has in hand. So he gives me the Chopper blocker, so that tells me, okay, you probably don't have a 1k that you're comfortable with giving up, or at all. So I swing another 5 to that Chopper, and he gives it to me. And okay, that's a really good sign for me. So I tap 4. Let's see what I end up playing right here. I go for the Karasu to reduce Zoro by 1k, which is going to put him at 4k. And then I attach 1 Dawn on Robin, and I use Dragon Leader effect to put the 2 Dawn from Brook onto Robin, and I swing 5k into Zoro. and he gives it to me. So 5 into 4, and I take that, and then I have 1 Dawn left up, and I tap 1, and I play Bello Betty Searcher. Bello Betty is gonna look at the top 5 cards of the deck, and I'm gonna grab any revolutionary card and add it to my hand. And I whiff on it, so this is the second whiff that I have in this game. And I pass. Or I don't know if did I whiff on it? Dang, I don't know. I shuffled my hand a little too quickly right there. It does, what's that first card in my hand? I can't even make it out. Okay, anyway, so my opponent is, you know, like 2 turns back to back. I've been completely decimating his board, right? Like that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on reducing his hand, because once he has nothing in hand, then he has no threats. Then I could just completely go for his life. So, and not have to worry about counter that he may or may not have. So I feel like that's my strategy. Anytime I play against Zoro, it's just to focus on their hand. And how do I do that? It's by focusing on their board. If I start sending low damage attacks, 5Ks to his characters, to his leader, it's gonna, you know, make him want to counter those out. And slowly but surely, he's gonna keep countering 1, 1, 1 until suddenly he has no more cards left. So my opponent swings 5K, 6K, 7K actually. And my opponent swings 7K, and I have a 0 cost event, and I go up to 8K. Okay, and he swings 2K into Robin, and I just choose to give that one up. Okay, and let's see what he ends up doing here. He still has 1 swing with Zoro, and he has a good amount of Dawn left up. I believe he has 8 Dawn left. 4, 5, yeah, I believe he has 8 Dawn. So that was a very sneaky Kureha 7K swing right there. Definitely possible in these decks. I have my own ways to swing 7K with Makino and Dragon Leader effect with my smallest bodies. So very sneaky right there. But I could applaud it because I've been doing the same thing. Okay, my opponent swings 6K to Brook, and I give that one up. My opponent is realizing the imminent threat where. You know, if he keeps these cards on the field for me, it's just going to be coming right back to bite him. So he definitely is starting to, you know, notice and swinging into my board right there. And he taps 4 for Kid Killer, which is still at 5K because he is not at 2 or less life. And he's gonna pass. He's gonna pass, leaving the Kid Killer active, mainly because he probably wants to wait until that Kid Killer is back at 7K base, because yeah, you know, if he swings 5K, he won't get the maximum use for it, and then I'll just swing into it, and then, you know, he just goes by without getting the max use of his Kid Killer. So I'm gonna use my Bello Betty and swing 2K into Makino, which is gonna, you know, go ahead and get that one. Okay, I have a full 10 Dawn turn right here, so I'm trying to see how I want to do it. I swing 3K to Kureha. I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. Okay. I'm gonna swing 5K into Kureha, reduce leader by 1. Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't do that because Karasu is not at 7K. So I just do a regular 5 into Kureha. And I swing 5 to lead, my opponent takes. And I tap 8 for Rayleigh to minus 3,000 to Kid Killer, and then KO Kid Killer. Okay, and 1 Dawn for Nami Searcher. Let's see what we end up grabbing right here. And I'm gonna whiff, so this is the 3rd whiff of the game. And I pass with 1 Dawn active. So, you know, again, another turn of completely wiping my opponent's board. This is my priority when I'm playing against Zoro. As you can see, my opponent has not very many options left. It's almost looking like it's gonna be a potential game-winning turn for me next turn. So right here, my opponent has 3 cards in hand and a full 10 Dawn. So there's not much that he can do here, but we will see what he ends up going for. We're about to see what weapons he has in his deck. So he attaches 2 Dawn to his leader, and let's see, or 1 Dawn to his leader. Yeah, so right here, you know, the way I play this dragon deck is I always try to maximize my slots. So I always try to have 5 characters on the field at all times. So my opponent swings 6k to life right here, and I'm gonna give a 2k counter. I'm just protecting my life at this point because if he has a pair of rushers or anything like that, like I don't want to take like a free hit and just, you know, accidentally lose the game. So my opponent taps 8 here for dragon. He's gonna give 2 Dawn to his own dragon, and he's gonna swing 9, 10, 11, 12k to Karasu, and I have 1 card in hand, which I don't have enough to counter that out, so that's gonna be that one. And then he passes to us. So, back to me. So now we are at a very crucial part of the game. My opponent has 3 life left, which would need 4 hits to connect to end the game. And I have 2 life left. So I have an option where I can choose to go for the game right here and try to like see if I can gamble on it. But I end up going for 8 for dragon to give 2 Dawn to koala, and I swing 5k to leader. Looks like we're going for the game here. My opponent, I think he's deciding, he's seeing if he wants to counter this out. He gives me a counter. I don't know if that's a 1 or 2k, but it's the duck. Okay, and I use dragon leader effect to move 2 Dawn to Bello Betty, and I give 1 of my last remaining Dawn to Bello Betty. Swing 5k. My opponent gives. I tap 1 for a Makino to buff Nami by 3k, and I swing 5k to lead. My opponent takes. I swing 5k to lead with leader. My opponent takes. I swing 8k to lead with Rayleigh. My opponent takes. And I swing a big 9k to lead with dragon, and that is going to be game over right there. My opponent did not have enough in the bank to survive this onslaught. I hit him with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was it 6 attacks? Yeah, I hit him with the 6 attack finisher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, 6 attack finisher. I was just a little confused because of the Makino right there. But there you have it. What a way to finish this game. You know, 6 attacks, calculated, right? But yeah, so you know, this deck is super fun, right? This is one of my main decks. I love playing dragon because I don't play it, you know, like most people would expect it. The way I play this dragon deck is initially it was created with the first iteration of this deck that was called Baby Dragon. The reason why I call it Baby Dragon is because I maximized and I used a lot of my low-cost bodies as like very important pieces in the deck. Low-cost bodies as in my Nami Searcher and my Bello Betty Searcher. So my dragon deck is split into 2. It has half Straw Hats, half Revolutionaries, and then Rayleighs. Rayleighs is like the only card that isn't really archetype specific. And I have some Makinos into Dons, but you know, those are like some little extra pieces. But the main core of my deck is half Straw Hat, half Revolutionary. And it runs by, you know, having the Namis and the Bellos be able to search everything, having the Dons be able to search the Namis and the Bello Bettys and the Makinos. And then, you know, I also have a lot of 3k power bodies, with the Don being one, the Brook being another, Sanji being another, and the Koala being another. So those 3k bodies are able to swing 5k with my Dragon Leader ability. All right, so my leader ability moves 2 Dawn from one character to another, or from the leader to the character. So that was a little bit about how I wanted to create this deck. So the first iteration was Baby Dragon, and this iteration that you see right here is Silver Dragon. So Silver Dragon, I call it Silver Dragon because of the addition of the Silver Rayleighs. So there you have it. You know, hopefully you guys learned something from this game. Hopefully, you know, this inspires you guys to pick up and play Dragon, and play a little differently than you know how most people play red decks. As you saw here, I made quick work of Zoro. Zoro is not an easy leader to beat by any means, but you know, if you play Dragon, you should be able to handle him like this. So I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys learned something. Please like, follow the page, and subscribe. Leave a comment. All that helps. Definitely like the video, because I've been noticing that when you guys like the video, it actually helps the page a lot. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so I think we're almost there. We're like at 950 or something like that. So we're gonna have a pretty special video when we do hit 1,000. So thank you guys for your support, and as always, I will see you guys on the next one.